In this French Connections, we're taking you to the elegant 9th arrondissement of Paris.
This area was completely transformed in the 1860s by Napoleon III's architect, Baron Haussmann. And it's known for its many theaters, like the incredible Palais Garnier.
The 9th reaches up from that Paris Opera House to the foot of Montmartre, and it is a shopper's paradise in between. You'll find 2 incredible department stores and the world's oldest auction house that's selling everything from dinosaur bones to Picassos.
The 9th is anything if not varied, and it's our latest stop on our tour of Paris's neighborhoods.
Every year, 1 million visitors come here to see the incredible Paris Opera.
In 2025, the Opéra Garnier celebrated its 150th birthday. And all these years later, the building designed by Charles Garnier continues to inspire lovers of the performing arts.
Nicknamed the wedding cake for its domed roof, the Palais Garnier is a masterpiece of 19th century theatrical architecture filled with fascinating history and iconic legends.
Mathias Auclair, thank you so much for being with us today. You're the curator of the 150-year Paris Opera Anniversary exhibit here at the Opéra de Paris. Can you tell us a little bit about the building, the Palais Garnier, and why it was built?
You have to remember that the opera is a very old institution that was first created by Louis XIV. The Palais Garnier is the 13th physical theater to house it, as most of the others were destroyed by fire. By building this theater, Napoleon III brought the wish of the Enlightenment philosophers to life. Ever since the end of the 18th century, they dreamed of giving Paris its own opera building that would shine like a light in the neighborhood and the city, but also around the world.
Is it true that Napoleon III wanted to build this opera to compare to Louis XIV's Versailles?
Napoleon's Second Empire was fixated on the Grand Siècle, the time period of Louis XIV. So all throughout the Palais Garnier, you have very explicit references to the architecture of Versailles. The Grand Foyer is like the Hall of Mirrors, and the Grand Escalier is like the Ambassador's Staircase in Versailles.
And what did people in the area think about this opera as it was being built?
The building site was an urban spectacle right from the moment the very first stone was laid in 1862. The first major moment, though, in the discovery of the building was the unveiling of the facade during the Paris World's Fair of 1867. Some people said it was extraordinary. They'd never seen anything so beautiful in their lives. Others thought it looked like a giant cream puff or a big pile of candy. The second important moment for the building, of course, was its inauguration in 1875. The context there was very different. France had just lost Germany in the Franco-Prussian War, and the country saw the opera as a symbol of its splendor and pride restored. The building was incredibly popular, a huge hit, so much so that people would come just to see the building, much more than the operas themselves.
And the building today continues to draw a lot of people. One of the most spectacular parts is the big staircase, and we're going to go see that right now.
Yeah? No. On y va.
The Grand Escalier immediately became the focal point of all the attention the opera was getting from both visitors and the press. Everyone was talking about this great staircase. It was impressive for several reasons. First of all, its size. It's as big as the theater itself. There was its incredible opulence, of course. but also because it was like a mirror of society itself at the time. It gave people a chance to see and be seen when they came to the opera. You have to remember that going to the opera back then was more an act of social status than just a chance to be entertained. It was a way to show off how well you were dressed. And as a matter of fact, Garnier wrote a lot about how much he used that idea of just who would be coming to the opera when he designed it.
And people today still come to the Grand Escalier to take selfies galore. Now, the Opéra has many legends about it. Perhaps the most famous one is the Phantom of the Opera. Where did that legend come from?
One of the great talents of Gaston Leroux, who wrote The Phantom of the Opera as a serialized novel in 1910, was that he took a few little things that really happened here. For example, the chandelier that crashed into the house, leaving a poor woman dead. Lots of real stories like that he mixed with things that were completely made up. And that seems to be the best way to create a legend. You never really know what's real or not. But at the end of the day, the most important thing in The Phantom of the Opera is not the story, but the way the theater, the building, is really the main character of the book.
It's incredibly fascinating, Mathieu Sauclair. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us.
Thank you.
Merci. The Opéra Garnier is one of some 24 theaters you'll find in the 9th arrondissement of Paris.
And they have iconic names, the Folies Bergère, the Casino de Paris, and of course, the Olympia.
The Olympia was founded in 1893 by one of the co-creators of the Moulin Rouge. That makes it the oldest music hall in Paris, still in operation today.
Later, it became a cinema before reopening in the 1950s and hosting some of the greatest names in music history. Edith Piaf, the Beatles, and more recently, Billie Eilish.
And if you're looking to buy some pop star memorabilia or just about anything at all, you can find that in the 9th as well.
Tucked away in the 9th arrondissement, you'll find a lively cross between a museum, a flea market, and a stock exchange of objects, the Hôtel Drouot. Founded in 1852, it isn't a hotel at all, but an auction house complex for everything curious and collectible, from fine art and antiques to natural history treasures. It's definitely worth a visit, as items open for bidding are exhibited, like the giant triceratops known as Big John a few years ago. You can even witness an auction in action and participate if you're feeling lucky. Another offbeat cultural stop in the 9th is the Musée de la Vie Romantique. It's a hidden gem for lovers of art, literature, and the elegant idiosyncrasies of the 19th century. It also boasts a lovely cafe, an oasis of calm in the hustle and bustle of Pigalle, one of Paris's most dynamic neighborhoods. It's around here that Berthe Veil got her start in the 19th century. She was the first woman in Paris to run a modern art gallery, and it was located in the 9th. She focused exclusively on young, unknown artists at the time, people like Picasso, Matisse, and Modigliani, and women like Suzanne Valadon. Her business card boldly declared, "Place aux jeunes, make way for the young." Though she changed the face of the art world, you've probably never heard of this unsung hero, who's finally getting some recognition today.
In addition to all the great art, the 9th is packed with hundreds of boutiques as well. Everything from fast fashion to the oldest chocolate shop in Paris.
And the pièces de résistance are two massive department stores, Les Galeries Lafayette right behind me and Printemps right next to it. These are what we call les grands magasins, the big stores.
These temples of Parisian shopping dedicated to beauty, fashion, and luxury are architectural gems as well.
Not one, but two massive department stores crown Boulevard Haussmann in the 9th. They were born in the late 1800s, when new omnibuses and the bustling Gare Saint-Lazare train station nearby easily brought the rising middle classes to the new arrondissement. Printemps, meaning spring, was the first to arrive, founded in 1865 by a former employee of Paris's original department store, Le Bon Marché. It quickly expanded to an entire city block and revolutionized shopping at the time.
L'entrée libre, ce qui n'était pas le cas jusqu'au début du 19e siècle. On ne rentrait pas dans un magasin pour flâner. On entrait parce qu'on avait besoin d'acheter quelque chose. Le prix fixe est affiché, alors que le prix était à la tête du client.
Printemps also featured seasonal sales, elevators, and electric lighting in stores, a first in Paris retail. Galeries Lafayette, named for its first shop on nearby Rue Lafayette, then opened down the street, founded by two cousins from Alsace. It won fame for its breathtaking Art Nouveau dome and its incredible publicity stunts, like in 1919 when a daredevil aviator landed his plane on the store's roof. Both stores were precursors in women's rights, in spite of themselves. A move to remove salesmen, making husbands jealous, gave shop girls a new means of supporting themselves independent of marriage.
Ici, ces jeunes femmes apprennent à acquérir cette amabilité, cette impassibilité souriante qui font le charme de nos vendeuses parisiennes.
The stores also introduced ready-to-wear fashion long before it was mainstream, bringing haute couture to the masses. Today, both grands magasins are magnets for tourists who make up 50% of the clientele.
Une fois par semaine, à peu près, mes clients ils peuvent dépenser jusqu'à 300 000 euros.
But no matter where they come from, there's one thing that almost every customer loves: the annual Christmas window displays. If you're exhausted after all that shopping and theater and art, well, the 9th arrondissement is teeming with delicious restaurants. Perhaps the most famous of them is the Bouillon Chartier, where we are now.
It was created by the Chartier brothers in 1896 when restaurant dining was reserved for the elite. They added a nicer setting and service to traditional workers' dining halls, selling easy-to-serve soups or bouillon in a rapidly growing industrial Paris.
And almost 130 years later, this is still the perfect example of a classic bouillon, serving traditional French food in a Belle Époque setting with non-stop service and unbeatable prices.
Bouillons are easy to spot in Paris. Just look for the long lines outside, day or night.
Well, that wraps it up for this tour of the 9th arrondissement. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you soon for another stop on our discovery of the French capital.
Cheers.